Hello everyone, I hope your weekend has gone well and thank you very much for joining me on this new episode of Political Peaks. Today on the show we discuss the importance of participating in the upcoming 2020 census, we learn about Utah's newest federal judge, and we discuss a recent report from the State Tax Commission that may stall tax reform talks. We have a lot to discuss today, so let's get right into it. We're just a few weeks away from a new year and a new decade, which means it's time to start talking about the upcoming 2020 census, which can be a confusing and even intimidating topic for some people. A lot of us know what the census is about, collecting demographic information about the entire U.S. population, both citizen and non-citizen residents of the U.S., including information regarding names, sex, age, race, number of people living in your home, whether or not you identify with Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and information about whether your home is rented or owned. But what is that information used for? Many people do not realize how critical the census is to our society. And as one of the fastest growing states in the nation, the 2020 census in Utah is more crucial than ever, for three big reasons. Number one being fair representation. Census data is used to determine how many seats Utah has in the U.S. House of Representatives. The demographic data collected also helps local state lawmakers redraw political boundaries within the state, which happens every 10 years right alongside the census. Reason number two, federal funding. Utah receives roughly $5.6 billion a year from the federal government, which goes to statewide resources like Medicaid, the National School Lunch Program, transportation, and so much more. Utah loses money when people don't get counted, with each person in the state accounting for roughly $1,086 per year. The next census won't happen for 10 years, meaning that if Utah is undercounted, we have the potential to lose out on $10,860 per person over the course of those 10 years. That is a ton of federal funding support that we as a state would lose out on. And the third reason why participation in the census is crucial, the information gathered from the census is used by businesses and investors for future economic development within the state. High population growth numbers show businesses and investors that the state is ready for economic investment and development, which creates jobs and therefore stimulates the entire Utah economy. All of these things can only happen if we participate in next year's census. Here are some other important facts you should know. The 2020 census is the first census that will be conducted partly online. You can fill out the census questionnaire on your mobile phone or laptop starting on March 12th, and the official census day nationwide is on April 1st. Completing the questionnaire should only take about 10 minutes. Find out more about the upcoming census here in Utah by heading to gomb.utah.gov. And be sure to remind all of your friends and family to participate. Now time for two quick political news stories from around the state this week. A recent State Tax Commission report showed that Utah is on track to run a budget surplus of over $100 million for fiscal year 2020, which ends in June of next year. Although the projected surplus is lower than recent years, it could become another major hurdle for state lawmakers to conquer as they pitch their complete overhaul of the state's tax system. Many tax restructuring opponents, including some GOP leaders in the state, say that with the state running large tax surpluses year after year, changes to the tax code are not necessary. There is a special session regarding the tax restructuring scheduled for December the 12th. Head to le.utah.gov to find out more. Lastly, the U.S. Senate confirmed former United States Attorney for Utah, David Barlow, as a federal judge in the state earlier this week on Wednesday. Former President Barack Obama chose Barlow to be Utah's top federal prosecutor in 2011, a position that he left in 2014. Barlow received a well-qualified for the position rating by the American Bar Association's annual federal judiciary ratings. Thanks for tuning in to today's Political Peaks. I really hope you enjoyed our coverage. As always, follow us on all of our social media at Park City TV and head over to parkcity.tv for more great community coverage. Have a great rest of your weekend and week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.